Sandage, and I'm a naturalist at the Dorothy Pecaut Nature Center, which is part of the Woodbury County Conservation Board. And I'd just like to introduce a video about seeds and trees, and I hope you enjoy it. If you get a chance, make sure to stop by the Dorothy Pecaut Nature Center this spring and see some examples of the plants that we talked about in this video. Seeds are only able to grow when the conditions are just right. Seeds need good soil with plenty of nutrients. They also need water, sunlight, air, the right temperature, and enough room for their roots to grow. When the conditions are right, the seed starts to drink water and get bigger until the seed splits apart, allowing the roots to grow downward into the soil. The shoot uncurls and grows upward out of the soil, and the leaves start to form. The plant will continue to grow if it receives the right amount of water and sunlight. Eventually, that plant will grow and create more seeds. For example, sunflower seeds come from sunflowers. Once the seed becomes a flower, the flower will create more seeds, and the cycle continues. Many of our favorite foods start out as seeds. All of the vegetables we eat come from seeds. Does your family have a vegetable garden? Iowa has great soil for growing vegetables like carrots, radishes, and tomatoes. If you've eaten a strawberry or banana, you probably noticed the seeds as you were eating them. For some fruits, like apples, plums, or avocados, we remove the seeds before eating the fruit. If you planted those seeds, like an apple seed, they would grow into trees, which would produce more apples. Here in Iowa, we can find a lot of trees with cool seeds. Let's take a look at some of the trees and their seeds that you could find in your backyard. Have you ever seen this seed before? This is an acorn. Acorns are fruit that come from oak trees. The seed is inside the outer shell. Acorns are an important food source for animals that live in the forest. Squirrels love acorns. They bury them in order to store them for the winter. Sometimes they forget where they bury them, and new trees grow. Squirrels aren't the only animals that love acorns. Mice, rabbits, and raccoons also love to eat acorns. Not all acorns look the same. That's because they don't come from the same kind of tree. There are many different kinds of oak trees. These are the acorns of the Burr Oak tree. The Burr Oak is the state tree of Iowa. It is also one of the most common trees found in Iowa. Do you know what tree these seeds belong to? These are the seeds of a silver maple tree. All maples have these funny-looking seeds called samaras. They have wings on them to help transport the seeds farther distances by being carried away by the wind. Have you seen these helicopter-like things fall from the trees? Have you ever seen these before? These are the seed pods of the honey locust tree. Inside the pod, there are many seeds, which the animals really like to eat. Despite its name, the honey locust doesn't actually produce honey. It gets its name from the sweet-tasting pulp found in the seed pods. Honey locusts also have these big pointy spines, which protect it from being eaten. Pine cones are another type of seed that come from pine trees. They come in many different shapes and sizes, depending on which kind of tree they come from. The main function of a pine cone is to keep a pine tree's seeds safe. The seeds are located underneath the scales. Pine cones close their scales to protect the seeds from cold temperatures, wind, and even animals that might try to eat them. In Iowa, we can find the eastern white pine. Does it look similar to the Christmas tree that you have at home? This may surprise you, but there's actually a delicious tasting nut inside these green fruits. Do you know what this nut could be? If you guessed walnut, you're right. Here in Iowa, we can find the black walnut tree. The green fruit consists of 3 layers: a green fleshy husk, a black inner shell that is hard and thick, and the kernel, which is the part that we eat. Trees aren't the only plants with cool seeds. Let's look at some other plants in Iowa and their seeds. One example is the dandelion. The name dandelion means lion's tooth, referring to the tooth-like shape of the plant's leaves. The dandelion doesn't always look like a cotton puffball. They start out as these beautiful yellow flowers. After a couple days as a yellow flower, they close, and the seeds develop inside the closed head. The seeds are a set of feathery bristles that act as a sail or a parachute, allowing the seeds to be transported by the wind. Have you ever blown on the seeds of a dandelion? If so, you're helping transport its seeds. Do you know what plant these seed pods belong to? I'll give you a hint. It's the monarch butterfly's favorite plant. Monarch caterpillars only eat milkweed. So without milkweed, we wouldn't have monarch butterflies. Monarch caterpillars aren't the only kinds of insects that like to feed on milkweed. There are over 450 insects known to feed on some portion of the plant. It's not uncommon to see many kinds of insects feeding on the milkweed flowers all at the same time. Eventually, the green seed pods will turn brown, split open, and release between 50 and 100 seeds. Milkweed seeds are white and fluffy and get carried away by the wind, just like dandelion seeds. Here is another example of a plant with unique seeds. This plant is called Virginia stickseed. The name refers to its sticky seeds. If you look closely, you'll notice that the seeds are covered in little spikes. These little spikes act like Velcro and stick to the animal's fur as they walk by. This is how the seeds are transported. Have you ever found seeds stuck in the fur of your dog? Maybe after going for a hike? The seeds can get stuck on humans too. They can get stuck on our shoes, our pants, or even our socks. Humans can help transport the seeds too. Now that you've learned about all these cool seeds, go outside for a walk and see how many you can find. You'll be surprised at how many seeds you can find, even in your own backyard. You can try planting a seed or garden with your parents, too. If you're looking for a place to go hiking or to see some of the plants that we saw during this video, come visit us at the Dorothy Pecaut Nature Center here in Sioux City. Hope to see you soon!